Well, this is in response to a lot of the comments I'm seeing out there about, you know, complaining about poor order offers, etc., from DoorDash, Uber, or whatnot. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more diplomatic this time, but what if I told you that you don't have to accept those? You don't have to accept anything. And I think we got a lot of drivers out there who simply believe that they have to take everything, which is actually one of the greatest lies that drivers believe, that you have to take every offer. You do not. And I think this has been established, quite a bit before on other channels. You don't have to take every order at all. You don't have to take most of your orders. And in fact, in my case on DoorDash, my acceptance rate is 8%. And, I see people out there with acceptance rates of 30 and 40% proud of how they are declining orders, which, that's better than accepting everything. But at the same time, I don't want to see anybody complaining about the orders that they're getting after hitting the accept button. Now, if you decline these, then you're basically just complaining and venting on the forum, which is, again, I don't think it's necessarily cool, but that's a totally different matter entirely. But if you're happen to be posting your accepted offers, complaining about it, that's a completely different beast. You are a sucker. And you're believing the narrative wherever you got it from. I'm not entirely sure where. It could be one of various sources that you have to accept every offer. You don't even have to accept most offers. Again, 8% here. A figure I'm relatively proud of because it means that I'm only taking offers that actually make me money. You are not on this app to deliver for free or provide a charity service or provide a public assistance service. Yes, people need food. Yes, people need things delivered to some extent. I think a lot of things that are ordered on DoorDash don't necessarily fall in this category. There's nothing to say that you can't go get it yourself, number one. Number two, the things that you're ordering aren't necessarily needed per se. Most restaurant meals don't fall into the necessary category. Now, if you're ordering groceries to be delivered to you, that's a little different. Then that does become a necessary thing. But what is to stop you from going to the grocery store and getting it yourself? For some people, there is a legitimate answer to that. If you're disabled, if you're medically confined, or whatnot, those people absolutely have a necessity in using delivery services. But at the same time, if you're a reasonably healthy man, you're ordering a fancy restaurant meal to be delivered to you, it's not a necessity. You could do it without having it delivered. You could go get it yourself. People who order on delivery apps, to be honest with you, at least in my specific market, again, Forest Lake, Minnesota, many of our delivery apps do come from the mobile home parks and from public housing. This is not to say that these are bad people per se, but it's a bad habit that I think will keep them in these positions long term. Now, I can't totally judge them because they may be doing this as an occasional treat, which is fine. Let's say these people work very hard. Let's say these people work, as hard as they have, and they just decided that they're going to put in the order and splurge once every couple weeks. Good on you. But extending the public housing point a little bit, most of those offers don't have tips on them for rather obvious reasons. They are using public assistance money to pay for the order, which DoorDash does accept, by the way. I've seen it a lot. So, but I don't think they allow them to tip out of public assistance money. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if anybody has any experience with that aspect of things, but I'm going to be basing an educated guess at this point that the fact that most of those orders don't contain tips, that they're not allowed to use the public dole to tip drivers, which, in my opinion, is more than fair. But on the same token, those become no-tip orders, and I reject the lion's share of these out of hand for that specific reason, that they're not because they're on public assistance, but because they don't have a tip. Which means that I would reject them for not having a tip regardless of who they were. So if you're complaining about these trips and you're complaining about them on public forums, why are you posting them? You know, I wouldn't be posting the ones I reject, because somebody could get wise to it and track down where these people live and figure that part of the equation out. I don't want these people to be outed in that regard. So I will never publicly post a rejected or declined order for that reason. I don't want these people to be publicly outed for living where they do and not posting a tip. Again, I believe they can't, because I don't think public dollars can be used to tip drivers. If somebody has an explanation on this, I'd love a comment. Love a comment. If anybody has any experience with this, because I don't have any experience of being on EBT or public assistance myself. So, again, if you're taking these no-tip orders and complaining and posting about them, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Speaking of no-tip orders, one just came across there on the Uber Eats platform. A exact same amount of dollars as miles trip, which in my market means it's a money loser because I'm not getting paid for the trip back. But anyhow, enough of that. Why are you posting about no-tip trips that you're accepting or ones that you're declining on the platforms? This is my diplomatic way of saying, please stop it. Get some help. That is it for today. I'll see you on the next go around, and as always, peace out, homies.